good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, good day, wherever you are joining me from. It is 11:30 a.m. in Chicago. Welcome, come on in and let me know where you're joining me from in this big, beautiful, and messy world we live in. I am Carol C.C. Miller, your positive life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you with another episode of Embrace Your Life Chat. I don't know if this is working. I think it is. So we're going to continue on. And if it's working, it's working. And if it's not, oh well. So again, let me know where you're joining me from in comments. And also let me know if you are new to my work and positive focus. I like welcoming in new people into our global community here. So let's see if I see anybody. Hi, Kathy. Good to have you here. Before we get started, there's a couple things I like to go over. One is to welcome Jen to my Embrace Your Life community, which is a small group here on, I was going to say on Positive Focus, but it's on Facebook. And I just asked 2 questions to get you into the community to keep spammers out. So welcome, Jen. Glad to have you here and glad to have all of our Positive Focus community as well. The things that I want to remind people of, especially if you're new to me and positive focus, is one, I'm not an absolutist. Not a big fan of the words always, never, right, wrong, good or bad. There's 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to say what is right or wrong for 7 billion people. So I work on the majority of the time. My top values are love, kindness, compassion, and peace. So the majority of the time, I'm loving, kind, compassionate, and peaceful. Scale is 0 to 100, 0 being always negative, 100 being always positive. Excuse me. I don't know anybody either 0 or 100. I do know people who are closer to 0, and I know people who are closer to 100. My practice is to stay in the 80 to 100% of the time, kind, loving, compassionate, and peaceful. What does that mean? Fear visits me, frustration, anger, disappointment, sadness, unworthiness. All of those normal, heavier emotions visit me, but because of my daily practices, they visit, they don't move in. Secondly, I'm a coach. I love supporting people in growing what their best life looks like and embracing their life. That's what I call my coaching, is Embrace Your Life. But I am also, that's my skill. That's what I love doing. I'm not a counselor, nor am I a therapist. And sometimes to live your best life, getting counseling, seeking therapy is what's going to help you get there to live your best life. So whether it's me as your coach, somebody else as a coach, finding a counselor or a therapist, and it is seeking out the right person for you. I know I'm a good coach. That it does not mean I'm a good coach for everyone. So it's about finding the right fit for you that's going to help you live your best life. Maybe it's your best friends. Maybe it's a clergy member. I do know that you're worth creating that support system to live your best life. So that's the 2 things I like people to know, is I'm not an absolutist. You will hear me say the words always and never on occasion, but I use them sparingly because there's not many things that I know absolutely isn't always. It might be an always for me, but there's 7 billion people in the world. So I can't say what is always right for you or always wrong for you. So keep that in mind. And maybe as we talk, think about where you are on that scale of 0, always negative, always unkind, always unhappy, all of that, to the 100, always joyful, always positive, always loving. And it's probably different depending on what topic you're discussing. Maybe your job, you're at a higher level or a lower level, and your relationships. So know that it fluctuates with all the different things that make us a whole human person. And that's why I do call my work Embrace Your Life. It's easy to embrace the things we like about ourselves or the things that are going well in our lives. But how about embracing the things that maybe we don't like about ourselves or are not right now going well in our lives, and finding out ways that we can make them a little bit better. So that's what I'm going to start with. Let me check really quick in comments, then I'll get on to our topic today. I'm going to try to say people's names properly. I'm not always that good at it. Prashant, I am a stroke survivor. I'm so glad that you were a survivor on that, Prashant. I'm glad to have you here. Hello, Stacia. The best to see October through March. I'm guessing you're talking about Northern Lights. So great, because my birthday is in November. So that might be my trip. Hey, Gina, good to have you here on the road with Dave. Give Dave my love, please. Christy is here. Good morning. Gemma is here from England. Anna Powers, I haven't seen you in quite some time. Still good to see you here. I will look into your question here in a moment, Anna. I'm not sure. And if I've missed any, Laura is here. Lisa, good morning. Theo from the Netherlands is with us. Wonderful. India, England, so many different places are here. I love that. That's one of my favorite things about this community is, again, it's not about always or never, but I do believe the vast majority of us want the same thing, and that's health, having security and feeling safe and knowing that we're loved and that we're seen and that we matter in this world. So I love it that there's people on these lives with me from all over the place. You may just be seeing me, but please know those people in the comments are your community members too. So today's topic, I believe, let me see, I wrote it down this time. Kathy brought it up and Suman brought it up. One brought it up as avoiding negative feelings, and the other one was avoiding negative energy. And I am going to discuss the word avoid on a different topic because I think it's an important one, and I'll probably cover it a little bit today as well. But today we're talking about avoiding negative feelings and how do we move through that. So if you're new to me, when I'm here by myself, I usually choose a word, come up with an affirmation, and then some tips around that to incorporate it into our daily practice. And I probably don't say this enough, I hope you are practicing some of these tips and tools that I give you. If they work, great, keep going. And if they don't work for you, try something different. It's not a one size fits all. There's a lot of people use journaling as one of their major tools, and it's a powerful, powerful tool. I love to write. I am not much of a journaler. So it's really about finding the tools that are going to work for you to help you live your best life. So with that said, we're going to get into avoiding negativity. And the definition of negative is lacking positive qualities. There are several different types of definitions, but the one that fits for today's conversation is lacking positive qualities. And I think a lot of people, one of the things that I feel like is what I'm here to do, besides helping people feel seen and know that they matter, because I do believe when people feel seen and heard and know that they matter in this world, that they're far less likely to harm themselves or other people. The second thing is to almost retake back the word positive, if that makes sense. I think a lot of people see being positive as being unreal and having your head in the sand and ignoring the hard things in life. And that's not what it is about for me. There are hard things that we go through in our life. There are major challenges, and there's lots of things going on currently in the world. And probably, I'm going to use the word, probably always have been going on in the world that are hard and challenging and painful. But for me, it's about meeting those hard times in our life with a little grace, with a little gentleness, with focusing on what we want rather than what we don't want. And when the don't want is right there staring us in the face, it's very easy to focus on that. So it's not about getting mad at yourself or blaming yourself for focusing on what you don't want. It's about paying attention to how do you feel and how do you want to move forward to feel a little bit better. So the definition, again, is negative, is lacking positive qualities. So our affirmation today, if you're unfamiliar with affirmations, it's just a statement. What I'm talking about I'm talking about positive affirmations, but you can affirm when you make a statement, I don't like my job, you are affirming you don't like your job. So it's about affirming what you want more than affirming what you don't want. And sometimes when you first start this, you're going to catch yourself affirming the don't wants more. Totally expected, totally normal, and honestly great because you're aware of it. So now you can shift it into feeling a little bit better and reframing it into a do want rather than focusing on a don't want. So today's affirmation is I choose peaceful thoughts, words, and actions. And I chose that one because generally speaking, when we're in a space of negativity, we're not at peace. We're in it could be fear, it could be frustration, it could be anger, disappointment, any type of thing that we feel is negative. We have stepped out of peace. So when I get into those spaces, sometimes I just say, I choose peace, I choose peace, I choose peace. So I encourage you to use this affirmation, or if you have something else, please share it in comments on an affirmation that would work for you. But I choose peaceful thoughts, words, and actions. And if right now you're in a space in your life where you're in full on chaos, which guess what happens? Because of my daily practices for many, many years now, it's very rare that I go on to full on chaos, but I can certainly have moments of chaos. So I would go into, I'm in the process of choosing peaceful thoughts. I'm in the process of choosing peaceful words. If I've just used some really angry words, then I go into, I'm choosing peace now. I'm in the process of choosing peace now. And action. So it's about being aware of where you're at and where you want to go. So again, today's affirmation is I choose peaceful thoughts, words, and actions. So negativity, even in the comments that were brought up, both of them asked on how to avoid them. And I would say that was me 15 years ago. I would avoid anything that did not feel good because it didn't feel good. I didn't want to think about it. If I pretended it didn't exist, it didn't exist. And I was happy. Just be happy, everyone. That would have been my way of dealing with anything 15, 20 years ago. I have learned that that really did not work for me. I felt it did. I felt like I was okay and good. But the more that you ignore things, they tend to still bubble up. So it's not about ignoring it. Negativity is not bad. It's not wrong. It's not negative, if you so to speak. It is a human experience that we all go through. The thing is how much attention and time do you want to give to it? So if you're having some negative thoughts, or maybe a day that you're more negative than not, remember my scale, 0 to 100, 51% is the majority of the time. So I'm not asking you to even try to get to 80%. Maybe you're there, maybe you're not. But 51% of the time is the majority of your time. 49% is the minority of your time. So paying attention to how you feel and how you want to feel to move forward. But please know that you don't need to avoid negativity. My work is in positive focus. It is about focusing on the positives in my life, the positives in the world. It's not about ignoring the negatives in my life or the negatives in the world, but it is about bringing compassion to those places that I don't like, either about myself or things that are going in the world. I am a big believer in what I focus on, I'm creating more of. So if I'm focusing on my don't likes, I'm creating more opportunity for the don't likes to grow. If I'm focusing on my do likes, I'm creating more of the opportunity for that to grow. It's not a right or wrong. It's where I'm at and where I want to go from there. So please know negativity is not bad for you. It's not wrong for you. It's not something to avoid. It's what kind of power do you want to give over to it? And how much attention and time do you want to give it? So if you're in a space right now where you're in the 80% negative, and that can easily, it could be situational. It could be lots of different reasons to be there. So again, it's not wrong, but it's how do you want to move into lessening the power negativity has over you and increasing the compassion, the love, the kindness, and the peace within yourself? Because if there's that much negativity right now, then peace isn't part of your equation as much. Maybe it's 80% negative and 20% positive. You just want to work on balancing it out to bring it to where you're focused more on what you want rather than what you don't want. So that's the first thing. And then the feelings of negativity, or honestly, any of our feelings, they are there as a source of information. So as you practice having a more positive focus in your life, perhaps at the very beginning of that practice, you're going to find, oh, no, I don't. I have a pretty negative focus. It's to know that it is simply giving you information. This does not feel good. This makes me angry. This makes me frustrated. This makes me sad, disappointed, feeling unworthy. Take that information and see what you can do to move it into the want aspects. Could be a quick shift. It could be therapy requires you to move through that. It could be months to get you there. It's not a one size fits all there either, but it's when you're aware of how you feel, that's when you get to make choices on moving forward to feel a little bit better. usually I would say that awareness is my first tip, and it kind of still is. But again, if you're not aware and you're allowing your feelings to just run the day and your emotions run the day, you're on autopilot. So you aren't in the space to make those decisions for yourself to feel better, or make the decision like, right now, I'm just in a funk and I'm going to stay here. But you're aware of it. So you're consciously deciding that I need might not be the right word, but I want to be mad right now. I want to be frustrated right now. Whatever it is, you're consciously aware of it. So you get to decide, I'm going to stay here. When you're unconsciously staying in a space of anger or frustration, so it's just simply harder to move out of because you're not even aware you're there. Other people might be saying, boy, she's really negative or unhappy today. And you're not even paying attention to it because you're on autopilot. So when you're aware of your feelings, you can pay attention to this doesn't feel good and shift into feeling a little bit better. Small steps. It does not require you from going from frustration to joy. It's possible, not probable. So it's about taking those small steps to feel a little bit better, or being aware that I need to really feel this right now, and then move through it at a different point. You'll know by the more you pay attention to how it feels, how long you need to stay there. So keep that in mind too. I haven't used this one for a while, and I probably should have it every day too. It's certainly one of my daily practices, is gratitude, is to practice gratitude. The more you focus on the things you like in your life, the things you like about yourself, the things you like about your day, you're giving that the energy to grow. Some days my gratitude is super easy to find. Because I made it a daily practice, I would say gratitude's pretty easy for me to find anyway. But on my harder days, the days that either I don't feel good for some reason, maybe I didn't get a good night's sleep the night before, so I don't have the energy that I normally have, the gratitude's still there. It just might take a little bit more uncovering to find. One of the things that I encourage people to think about when they're going through a really hard time and it's hard to find gratitude, there's two things. One is think about the things you take for granted. My mom needed oxygen for the last few years of her life to help sustain her and help keep her going and feeling alive and being able to live. I don't need that. I'm guessing the majority of people on this call don't need that. I never have asked my body to breathe for myself. I've never asked my body for my heart to work. So I get into gratitude that I'm able to breathe on my own. I get into gratitude that my heart beats on its own. And I get into gratitude that there's medical attention and modalities and things that can help those people who need that because their bodies aren't functioning the way that they want them to function. So I have a warm bed to sleep in. So it's going back to the basics on gratitude that can help us catapult us into focusing on the bigger things that we might have a hard time in a challenge find gratitude in. I don't know about you, but a lot of times I'm pretty good at it now. Again, I've been practicing this for years. So I hope I'm not making you think that you can pick this tool up tomorrow and it just be magic for you. Great if it is. But I'm now able to find the gratitude even in my challenges. Does not mean I like the challenge, but I'm able to see where this is helping me in some aspect of my life. Often it's when we get on the other side of the challenge is when we are able to look back and say, oh, I learned a new boundary there. I grew from that experience. I learned who to have in my life and who to let go of in my life because of that experience. But when you can find the gratitude in the moment, it does not necessarily make the challenge go away, but it does dissipate its impact on top of it. And then really, really, really want to encourage you to practice and pay attention to your self-talk. Because, we talk about other people and these other people who are mean to either us or to other people in the world. And by no means am I saying it's okay to be mean to other people, because it's not. But I encourage you to think about, what are you saying to yourself daily? You're with yourself 24/7. Other people come in and out. They may be a big part of your life because you live with them, you work with them, but you're the one that's in your head, in your thoughts all the time. So think about and pay attention to that self-talk and reframe it. When you're first starting to pay attention to your self-talk, you might find it being more negative than you thought because now you're aware of it. So I encourage you not to be disappointed and not to beat yourself up over it because you're feeding that energy, but to reframe it. So if you catch yourself saying, especially if you're using the words I am, I don't even want to use this word after it. So I am not very smart. Reframe it into I'm learning new things each day. I am working on those challenges or something like that, but focus it and reframe it into a positive statement rather than continuously feeding the negative statement that you may have been saying for a very long time. That's where affirmations come in to be very helpful too. Next one is to respond rather than react. So when you catch yourself with a negative thought, a negative word, a negative action, just instead of immediately reacting to it, take a moment and respond to it instead. When we react, we tend to not take those deep breaths and come up with other ways that this could be happening. We're just responding or reacting to that emotion immediately and not thinking it through. So take some deep breaths and respond rather than react. And this goes hand in hand with that, is to observe rather than absorb. Observe your behavior rather than absorb it. And so the observing would be, I'm aware that I'm really negative right now. The absorption of it would be is blaming yourself for that negativity and re-impacting yourself with that negativity. So observe it. And so when you're observing it, now I want you to get curious about it. So maybe you're being negative about, let's use an example of a job, that you're negative about your job. You don't like your job. You don't like your boss. You don't like many, many things. And please know that your negativity can be justifiable. You may have a really harsh boss. You may be in the wrong job for you. So I'm not saying that negativity isn't appropriate. It's what kind of power do you want to give over to you? So when you're aware that you're negative about something, I would like you to get curious about it. It's like, I wonder what it would be like if I started focusing on liking this a little bit more, or focusing on the good qualities of my boss rather than the negative qualities of my boss, or focusing on the good qualities in me rather than focusing on the negative qualities that I tend to focus on, because we focus on that in a negative way. So get curious about your negativity as well, and then flip it to something that's more positive. Just like, I don't know that I said it today, but affirmations, if you're using a positive statement, I am smart, but you immediately in your head's like, no, I'm not. 20 minutes ago, I did something that was not smart. Even though I am smart is a positive affirmation, it's not positive to you because you've already negated it. So when you're reframing something using affirmations, you want it to be believable. So you're not immediately saying, no, that's not true, but it can still be a stretch from where you are today. But if you stretch it too far out, then you're going to go into, no, that's not true. I'm lying to myself. I'm trying to fake it till I make it kind of thing. And the fake it to the make it, that's, maybe I'll discuss it at some other point, because it is a tool to use, but it needs to be used properly. Because if you're trying to fake it too big, then you're not going to believe it's ever going to happen. So it's for me, the work I do is very nuanced and just shifting words around slightly to something that's a little bit more compassionate, that's a little bit more peaceful and kind and loving for you to move forward with. And then I want you to pay attention to who you spend the most of your time with. Now, we have family, we have people we work with. So there's some people that maybe we can't not spend a lot of time with, but know who are the people that are themselves more negative, and who are the people that focus more on the positives and the gratitude in their day. Because I am a big believer in, you can be at two tables, both tables, 8 people. You join the happy table, you're probably going to start focusing on the happiness too. You join the mad table, you're probably going to start focusing on what makes you mad as well. Again, this is the majority of the time. You can go to the happy table and be in depression and still feel incredibly lonely and depressed at that table. You can go to the negative table and be super joyful and happy and be able to maintain your energy. The majority of us tend to join the energy that we're with the majority of the time. So just pay attention to who you're around. And maybe if you know these people, and again, they could be people you absolutely love. Negativity is not wrong or bad. It's just how much time and energy and attention do you want to give to it? So it could be people that you absolutely love and they're incredibly negative. Maybe you lessen the amount of time you spend with them, or you fill yourself up enough knowing these people are going to drain me. So I'm going to be prepared going in to talk with them. Not blaming them for their negativity, because that's who they are right now. Maybe that's who they are always. And it's their choice and their decision if that doesn't feel good to shift out of. It's not about judging them as being bad or wrong people for being negative, but it is about who do you want to be and how do you want to show up. When you're in a happy, joyful state, you're more inclined to hold your own energy. If you're already noticing that you tend to focus on the negative first, or wonder what's wrong first before you think about what's right, then I really definitely encourage you to think about the people you're spending the most of your time with. You want to spend the time with the people that are going to uplift you more than the people who are going to hold you back or bring you down because of their own experiences. It's not about making them wrong. It's about making it what works best for you. And then lastly, is to be gentle with yourself. This is a big, beautiful, and messy world we live in. I would love it to be rainbows and unicorns. It's not. It is rainbows and unicorns and hard stuff and painful stuff and unjust stuff and tragic stuff. So there's all sorts of things going on. But one of the things that I think about is even when tragedy happens, helpers come out as well. So it's easy to get stuck on focusing on the bad things that are going on in the world or the bad things that are going on in your life. But generally speaking, in the bad things, there's good things that are happening too. So the more I can put my attention on that and not pretend, I used to be the pretender that everything is perfect and avoiding hard situations. Now I try to bring gentleness, compassion, love, peace into those harder situations. It's about embracing your entire life, not just the good parts. And if you're going through a really hard time, it might require a little deeper dive and a little bit more work or a little bit more support from a counselor or a therapist or a coach to get you into focusing the majority of the time on living your best life. Remember, the majority is 51%. I'm hoping with these tips I get you further up on the scale, but know that the majority is 51%. And if you're below that majority, you're not right, you're not wrong, you're not a bad person, you're just where you are for whatever reason. And when you focus on how you feel right now and how you want to feel, you can move forward from there. I wish I had the 3 steps to living life with love and ease all the time. I don't know that it exists, but if it does, let me know and we will talk about that some other day as well. But let me come into comments here and see if there's any questions. And please know if I miss, I'm saying hello to you. Sometimes I don't see all the comments live, but I do come back later. So if you have a topic you would like me to cover another time to bring a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to the conversation, let me know that too. Hello, Sarah. I'm probably going through people again, so I might be saying people a second time. Laura, I'm here. Newbie, Laura, welcome from Northern California. And Gina, I hope you said hello to David for me. Let me check here on Anna. Anna, I still moved from Cali to Oregon, still going through a divorce. My disabled son is 22. He's here for summer break. His dad is being sneaky, and we've been together for 22 years. A divorce is hard. Uganda is in the house. Hello. I don't want to ruin him, but I am dumped and my mother's with nothing. I don't know the right thing to do. Anna, I love the fact you don't want to ruin your ex-husband, because that's coming from the hurt, not the healing aspect. Doesn't mean that it's an easy process. And I really do encourage you. I am not a divorce coach. I encourage you to find support in your area who can help you with these, the hard feelings. I would definitely go into focusing on whatever gratitude you can come from this experience. And again, when you're in that really hard place where it's easy to focus on the don't wants, it's not wrong to focus on the don't wants. They're right there. They want attention. They want to be heard. Your feelings want to be heard. Your feelings want to be acknowledged and move forward from there. But I really don't have a lot of background in dealing with divorce situations. So I don't want to give you inaccurate information either, but I do encourage you to start being gentle with yourself and come up with some affirmations to fill yourself up with self-love and self-respect and self-kindness to get you through this. Your husband, I wish we could control other people. That'd make my job a whole lot easier if I can control the bad people who hurt others in the world. I can't do that, nor can you. But we can focus on being a little bit more compassionate for ourselves and other people and moving forward from there. Feeling your feels, feeling that hurt, that frustration, that anger on going through losing a marriage of 22 years. There's a whole grief process. Anger is part of that grief too. So no, you're not doing it wrong. If that helps at all, I don't know it does, but I really do encourage you to seek some support from people who are trained in and have the knowledge to support you better than I can. You come here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and I'll do what I can for you, Anna. Absolutely. I don't want you to leave this community for sure, but I do encourage you to get the support that you deserve to have. Heather, welcome from Maple Falls, Texas. Dora, thank you for sharing. I rarely tell people because self-promotion is not my strength. I am working on it. But if my words in these lives have helped you at all, please feel free to share and invite other people to come join us on our conversation. Christopher, I try not to waste life minutes. Our life clock is continually counting down. I think that is a great thing to think about as well. Each day, even though it may seem similar because we go to work, we get up, we go to work, we come home, blah, blah, blah. It's still different. The day is different each day. The more you step into gratitude for those small nuance changes, the more that you can find the gratitude even on the rainy days. If you don't like rain, life is so very precious and we don't know when it's going to end. Some people may know, but most of us, like if you have a terminal illness type thing, but it could, I plan to be here for many, 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 many more years, but it could end tomorrow. I don't know. So I really do get into trying to focus on remembering it's precious. I don't want to spend my time in hate. I want to spend it in as much love, kindness, compassion, and peace as I can, knowing that all those harder feelings are going to show up, but I'm not going to give them the attention to take over my life. So hello, Tina. It's good to see you here. Lisa, would you consider doing a topic on forgiveness? How to forgive those that have hurt us deeply? I will write that down. I think I have covered it a long time ago, but it's absolutely a good topic to cover. And sometimes, and it's a tough one on the people who've hurt us deeply for sure. So I'm going to, like all of my conversations, I want to caveat it that it's not a one size fits all. I work on the scale of 0 to 100. So you may be, Lisa, at a forgiveness level of 80%, having a hard time forgiving, or somebody might be at a 20%. So it really is knowing where you're at and where you want to go. But I will add that to my list to cover. What other ones do I still have? Consistency on achieving goals was one. I forgot to write down who gave that to me. Dealing with anxiety, avoiding being discouraged. Maria gave that one. Always being nervous and making decisions. Stacy, I still have that one too. So I do have quite a few to work with for next week. I think on Tuesday, no, next week is still March. So it should be just me next week. So I will cover some of those. If you have other ones, please let me know. Gina, what's the recommendation for frequency of using affirmations? I think it varies for everyone. I use mine in the morning, and then when I go to bed, I have them written down, so I sometimes look at them. And then there will be times where I will go a morning or an evening that I don't do them at all. I know that I find when I do them consistently, I stay in a better place as far as my wellness and my happiness. I also shift them up from time to time. Like if I notice that I'm not really, like I'm just kind of saying them without really feeling them, because it's about the feeling of them, that I'm just like, okay, Carol, it's time to do your affirmations, blah, 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 blah. I shift them up into something new. So it reignites that energy for me. So I don't know, Gina, that there is a perfect one for anybody, but it is helpful to repeat it. That's the point, is you're repeating it to replace those negative self-talk that we've had forever and ever and ever. So let me know what works for you. I would love to hear that as well. I think I have gotten everyone here. So again, if I've missed somebody, it's because I did not see your comment, and I will come back later in the day to answer any questions and look for any new topics that might be covered. So take care of yourselves. Remember, I think the biggest thing I want you to remember is negativity is not wrong. It is not bad. It's how long do you want to stay there? It's information for you on this doesn't feel good. What will feel a little bit better? But when we beat ourselves up over being negative, I don't know anybody who doesn't have some negativity in their thoughts, words, or actions daily. Maybe not in both of those, but I'm pretty confident that the vast majority of us have negative thoughts daily. Like I would almost say always, but I'm not going to, because there's 7 billion people. There might be one person who does not have a negative thought all day long, but I think the majority of us do. So it's not about it being wrong. It's about how much attention and time and energy do you want to give to it. And if you're in that place right now where you're at a higher level of giving it that attention, it might require support from somebody else to help you balance that back out. 51% is the majority. If you go above that, all the better. If you're below that, you're not wrong, you're not bad. It's where you are, excuse me, and where you want to go. So avoiding, don't need to avoid it. It wants to be heard. It wants to be acknowledged. It's just something inside of you that is giving you information to tell you, this doesn't feel good. How can I feel a little bit better? So that's what we got for you today. Gemma, did I say hello to you? I think I said hello to somebody in England. So maybe it was you. I don't recall now. But I think I've covered everyone else. Suffering anxiety over negative thoughts right now. Okay, Kathy, suffering anxiety. Kathy, I did talk about anxiety, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, maybe. So let me find that link for you, and you can tell me if that has helped you. Again, even with the anxiety thing, it really matters on how impactful it is for you. Anxiety is not a bad thing. It, again, is information that something isn't right and isn't feeling good for you and how you move forward. Some people have anxiety panic attacks. That would be out of my realm of helping with you if it's something of a more minor kind of thing. And I would have to say my tips and tools, I don't think is going to harm anybody who's dealing with anxiety. But I do think that people who are trained to help people through panic attacks, through anxiety attacks, is something that I would encourage you to seek support on to help you live your best life. I'm here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays to do what I can to help you live your best life. But what I do is I take these Facebook Lives and I put them on YouTube within the day, hopefully, because it's just easier to find them there. I'm going to put in, actually, if you go to, let me put this in really quick, because Kathy, I will look for that actual one. But okay, what did I just do here? I just minimized my page so I can't even see you. Now I can see you. I'm going to put this link in for you, and it takes you to the links of anything you need for me, as far as if you wanted to do a discovery call with me, buy a t-shirt, all of these different things, my intention t-shirts, or sign up for Global Hugs. I didn't discuss that today, but we've already gone longer. I will discuss that another time. So check that out. There will be a YouTube link on that page. And I think you can search anxiety from there, but it should be in the title. But I am going to go look for that actual YouTube video for you and post it under here as well. So now I think I've covered everything for today's conversation on avoiding negativity. So if you've learned anything, I hope you know it's not to avoid it. It's information to let you know that something doesn't feel good to you. And there's many, many things you can do to make it feel a little bit better. Or you can choose to stay there too. It's not a right or a wrong. So go out there and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate knowing where you're from. I am here in Chicago. It is a overcast spring day, but it's kind of normal for Chicago this time of year. So go out there, take care of yourselves, and remember, you matter. You matter to me, you matter to the world, and most importantly, you matter to you. So we'll talk again on Tuesday. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Be kind and gentle and peaceful and loving and compassionate for yourself and for others in this big, beautiful, and messy world. So we'll talk soon. So long for now.